Thank you for having me here. Martijn Siebeland is my name. I'm working for the Dutch Institute for Advanced Logistics. Before I started there, I worked for 8 years in the financial industry. And what we are doing at the Dutch Association, we work on the cross point of supply chain management for the financial side and the physical side. As mentioned from the music example, I saw the presentation from them several weeks ago, where they say, right, in the normal way, we get paid 9 months after our music was played on the radio. And with a blockchain solution, they can get paid with 1 day. For supply chain finance, we are looking to optimize the supply chain on the financial side and the physical side, and that's also where blockchain comes in for us. Dynalog is one of the 9 priority sectors for logistics for the Dutch government, and what they do is they bring parties together on the knowledge side, on the companies, and also on the government side to do innovative research. And the ambition is to be also in 2020 one of the big players in logistics, and also to have a country with a good business climate to come to as a foreign company. And we see that we do some interesting things there, and I would like to tell you something more about our blockchain program. As I mentioned, supply chain finance, what does it mean? What is the definition? We take a look at the optimization of the supply chain. So we see more and more longer payment terms, longer trade lanes, but no visibility to the first supplier. So we can see the tier 1 supplier, tier 2 supplier, but the third and the fourth are not visible at the most companies, also at the big companies not. So we try to improve that. Why is logistics then important, and why is it one of the sectors that you can make use of blockchain very well? You see, there are all points in the trade lane where there is very good, rich information. That information now belongs to the logistics service provider or to the port, but they don't share it. That means that when you have a container from China to the Netherlands, it took you 40 days with 16 days of waiting. So it's a lot of opportunity to improve, because the waiting time is, a lot of time there is still waiting for paper documents, just documents. So huge opportunity there. Also, the logistics service provider can themselves reinvent and take a look to earn money with other business models than only with the wheels. Because they don't earn real money with wheels those days. So what do you see in logistics? You see, in 2025, let's say, right, 80% of the packages in cities will be unmanned delivered. 3 or 4 weeks ago, Just Eat delivered in London already some food with a kind of car like this. It costs about €2,000, and it can drive your food to a home fully autonomously. So maybe it comes much earlier. Also, this is the Mercedes-Benz van, completely autonomous, with drones on the roof for the addresses that are further away from the driver, and they know all the things of the packages, and they have a rack at site, and they can change the whole car when they go back to the warehouse. So no packaging anymore; it's just robotized. But that means there's a lot of data in logistics, very much data. So we've seen blockchain starting for the financial industry, but those days we see also a lot of interest from logistics parties, like Maersk. We see an interesting project in Kuvia in Finland, where they track and trace containers. You can see MTI, it's a London-based company, also on the container side. Kuehne Nagel, a big expeditor, also talking about blockchain and what are they going to do with it. So a lot of interest for blockchain those days also in logistics. For us in the Netherlands, to make it something more concrete, we started a small project where we say, right, we see that in financing still more and more companies came up with marketplaces where you can let finance just one invoice. The problem there is that you can give that invoice to 20 different people, and there was not a good register those days where you can see if the invoice is purchased already. So we made a register where you can make a hash on an invoice, and if you get an invoice to get asked for financing, you can check that invoice if it is registered already or not. It's a small project. We have now 10 parties working with it, and it worked very well. And also the Dutch Finance Association would like to have this one incorporated in their business. It will protect fraud, and that's one of the main advantages of this one. Logistics and blockchain. Here we see some containers. This is the terminal in the harbor of Rotterdam. When you take a look at the trade transaction, I don't go through all those pictures, but you can see it's very complex. We made trade very complex. So a lot of documents, a lot of parties involved. The container is here, and we saw on the picture. But the container and information flow, there are still more than 30 parties involved in a transaction. You can see it here. So there's a lot of time spent on checking documents, discussing with people, and there are smarter ways to deal with. So what are we going to do? We work with this consortium. I talked for 1.5 years with several companies to get them involved in this project. There were some companies that were very interested in blockchain till the moment that they saw, all right, is it that transparent? Maybe that's not of interest for me at this time. And now they're doing projects on their own. But the interesting thing of this consortium is that we have several use cases defined at this moment around financing the logistics service provider with the digital transportation node from TransFollow. On the other side, we have also an inventory finance use case where we combine inventory of some customers of a logistics service provider, and we bring that data on a blockchain solution to the bank, and they can finance that then instantly. Instead of that, they get Excel lists that are 1 month old, and at the moment that there is a disruption in the chain, and they have to get their money back, they see, all right, there's only 10% left of the list that we have of the inventory. Also, reverse logistics is involved with FB Basics. They're going to work on a circular marketplace for second-hand goods, goods that you can reuse in the economy. Smartport is a company that helps parties in the harbor to innovate and to do smart things with the harbor of Rotterdam, but also Amsterdam and other ports. Around 80% of the documents, 80% of the transactions in the harbor is still paper-based. Florida Holland already was mentioned by the former presentation of Timeless, where we heard the flower from Kenya. They have more than 4,000 transportation companies working for them. So they have also a huge opportunity to say, what can we do to do better? We valorize all this information via the supply chain finance community. It's a community where we have knowledge institutes involved, but also companies. We do there some presentations and conferences in the Netherlands, but also Europe, Singapore, and America, to tell what we are doing and to share our insights. The use cases in the project, I already mentioned them, but what is important is that the best ones are yet to come. So you can see here platooning. So it is 3 or 4 connected trucks, and this will save a lot of fuel. Now there is still a driver in each truck, but you can imagine that in a few years we can have 1 driver up front and the other will follow. At this time you can only do platooning with or Scania or DAF or Mercedes. Also there are projects running to combine those all, and then we have more efficient transportation possibilities there. We will realize a field lab for logistics in March in the Netherlands, so that companies can explore, but also people from the universities. Around our project there are now 23 students programming the real blockchain at this moment, and 5 full-time profs working on this project. That's what I would like to share with you around our project in 10 minutes. Some question maybe? There is something more to tell, but...
Hi, sorry. I would like to ask that in the area of logistics, now the latest development is perhaps the single window facility, perhaps. So how this blockchain, can be combined or to update the system we currently have with the single window or the e-port.
Do you mean with a single window the Alibaba mask lane, or do you mean something else?
Yeah, the single window is when you do the international transportation. When you enter into a country, then you have a single entry with all these documents processed through this single window, so you don't have to deal with the all these administrations. So how this blockchain may be used to update this single window?
Yeah, we have in our institute knowledge about those questions because we did projects with ASML, Heineken, Philips, for example, who make use of this single window. And that are we going to incorporate also in this blockchain project. So we will see how we can work out with this thing. You see also the train from China to Europe. It's arrived in the United Kingdom as well. It took 18 days to come here instead of 40 days. And they have also solutions for this.
How far away are we from that central invoice registry being mandatory? Because it's only helpful if all invoices must be registered and given that hash, right? So I think in Chile it's mandatory, in Mexico it's mandatory.
Yeah.
How far away do you see European legislation, European-wide legislation there?
Yeah, you see that you need all the financial parties to get involved in this register, and not all of them have the same interest. So there we have to grow with the community, and there we are excited that also the financial association has joined now in the Netherlands. But we try also with the supply chain finance community that has connections in 35 countries to bring that out outside too, so that everyone can have a favor of it. I don't know how long it will take.